Welcome, everybody, to the F4 Hunger Awareness Show.
It's my goal to feed 1 billion people before I die.
We want to bring awareness around the issue of hunger and food insecurity.
7 to 8 million people served so far. The sole goal of eradicating world hunger by connecting sources of food to recipients in need. Fiorenza's Food for Friends.
Hi, I'm Derek Fiorenza with Fiorenza's Food for Friends, joined by,
Isabella Ambrosino.
and we are excited to bring you the F4 Hunger Awareness Show. Today we have a very special guest, Annamarie Donahoe, and she is from the CityTeam in Chester, a longstanding partner of ours. And she is the program director for CityTeam. She's been involved supporting their organization for over 21 years, and they've got a great backstory. They go back to the 1950s, a national organization, West Coast, East Coast. And our focus today, though, will be on the programs and support that is being provided specifically in Chester. And that's where Anne-Marie's background is. So with that, Anne-Marie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. Before we kind of dive into CityTeam, we'd love to hear a little bit about your backstory, how you got involved, your passion for serving others.
Yeah, so I think that I have a little bit of an interesting story. So about 21 years ago, I found myself on the steps of CityTeam. My brother, who is quite a bit younger than I am, he's 12 years younger than I am, was at the time an addict. He's still an addict. He's recovering now, but he was a recovering addict and active in his addiction at that time. And I just brought him there out of desperation. I didn't know what else to do for him. But what I knew was that, I couldn't watch him anymore kill himself. So we showed up on the steps at CityTeam, sat around for quite a few hours while he was interviewed to be a part of the program. So CityTeam has a residential drug and alcohol recovery program for men. And he joined that program when he was about 24 years old, and it radically changed his life. And as a result of that, I started volunteering just because I was so grateful. And I was home with my kids at the time. My daughter was 3 years old, and I was expecting my son. So I was pregnant with him when I started, and just found that not only was it a place for him, but it was really a place for me to be able to connect with women that needed help through their mother and baby program. And not only to be able to help provide, diapers and formula for the women, but also to just see the way that they fed people and really how beautiful that was. And when I think about food, I think about the traditions that are built in my home, right? That I have the privilege and the opportunity to provide for my family. You don't always see that with the clients we have coming into CityTeam. So that's really what grew my passion for CityTeam. And then when it was time for me to go back to work, there was this job opening, and I was like, wow, I didn't even expect, I would never expect that the place that I volunteered at would be the place that I would be able to find work. So I applied for that job, and funny enough, I didn't get that job. But then about a month later, the director at CityTeam at the time called me and asked me if I'd be interested in another job that was opening that really kind of suited my skills and my passions. So that's where my employment journey started with that CityTeam about 14 years ago.
Wow. It was more personal than I even realized. So I hope your brother is doing okay.
I really want to tell you that's a beautiful part of this story also is that my brother's name is Dallas. He graduated the program. He has been sober for a long time now, and he is on staff at CityTeam.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
I got chills. Woo.
I guess I want to say it's about 7 or 8 years ago now, he came on as the chef at CityTeam. So he actually, when he was in the program at CityTeam, decided that he loved to feed people. So he went to school at the end of his program. So he was there a little over a year. And at the end of that program, he went to school and would commute from CityTeam in Chester all the way up to Northeast Philadelphia to a culinary program. And then he found a job right after graduating from CityTeam, stayed at that job for about 10 years. And then this role opened up at CityTeam to be not only in the kitchen, but to be a part of the recovery program at CityTeam and teaching the men some life skills in the kitchen. So I guess most recently, about a year ago, he got a promotion and he is now the manager of the recovery program. So
That's unbelievable. So I'm
right.
gonna actually what a great story. I'm going to share our screen here and bring up your website. And I was hoping that maybe you can kind of walk us through some of the services you provide.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this right here, Immediate Needs
Yeah.
Women's Program?
Yeah, so our mission at City Team is to share Christ's love by meeting immediate needs and creating lasting solutions. So the immediate needs piece falls under our outreach programs. And some of our outreach programs involve a fresh produce distribution. We do not only on site, but through mobile food pantries also. We have 5 different locations in Delaware County that we go to get food to the people that can't get to us. We also have a pantry that is open on site. We used to call it an emergency pantry, and then we learned through COVID that it was really like a weekly need for the people that we're serving. And then we also have our mother and baby program, which is a program where moms or grandparents, whoever are raising the children, can come and get support for things like diapers and formula and gently used baby clothes and baby equipment, all the things that you need to safely take care of a baby. Then we also do Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter food distributions and toy distributions. And then a backpack program at back to school time. We'll distribute about 1,700 backpacks to kids in the community. So that's how we, address the immediate needs. And then out of that, after that, we make a lot of connections. So what we've learned is that people really need to be able to trust you, to be able to kind of connect with you, to be able to, even explore some of the lasting solutions that we could offer. So one of the things we did for women was about almost 5 years ago, we opened up our Turning Point homes, and they're for young women, 18 to about 30 years old. We have 2 homes right next door to each other. One is for women with children, and then the other home is for single women. Our first resident ever at our women's home with children, she went to camp with us when she was a kid with her mom. So like that's where the trust comes in, right? Like that's where you build those relationships. And when she found herself in a really hard situation, she was able to trust us with her and her baby and come in, be in a safe space. So that was really kind of a full circle moment for me. I had went to camp with her when she was a kid, and then, years later, we're serving her with her own child. So that was beautiful. And then some of the other lasting solutions are, like I mentioned, City Team really started in 1987 with what they knew was a need for men in the community. So men needed shelter. So we have an emergency shelter program, and that's really just for men that want to get off the streets for a few nights. It also is a feeder for our other 2 programs that really provide some lasting solutions, which would be our men's Turning Point program. And that is for men that just need some support getting housing, maybe getting benefits together, support and maybe getting a job. And then our other program is our men's recovery program. And that is for men struggling with addiction. So it's really like a sober living house. And the men will stay with us in that program anywhere from 9 to 12 months.
Wow, that long.
Yeah. And then we have another program actually that we launched also about 5 years ago. And that was our Men's Forward program. So that's for the men that are graduating our recovery program that maybe need some more assistance, a little more accountability, but not quite ready to go out on their own. Some of them just need some time to be able to save some money, to move into a place of their own. So they can stay with us up to another year at that program, but it's really much a lower level of care. And they'll meet with a case manager about once a month, check in. A lot of them stay connected through volunteering or interning with City Team.
It's amazing. Isabella, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to start off by saying, first of all, that I think it's amazing, especially that you guys have so many different programs for both men and women, because oftentimes, of course, men and women have very different needs, and I just think that's amazing. But I was wondering if you'd maybe be able to go a little deeper into some of the programs that you guys have for people who are food insecure. Um, what do you have for them?
Yeah. So our primary things that we have for people that are food insecure would be twice a week we're open at City Team at our 7th and Sproul locations. We have a fresh produce program on Thursdays, and that is fresh produce that we receive from Phil Abundance. So it's big bulk produce. And then we also have, we do food rescue every day of the week. We're out picking up food at local grocery stores. So we also distribute that on Thursday in-house. And then on Wednesdays, we have, at the same time, we're open for mother, baby, and adult clothing. We also are open for our pantry. So people can come in, it's a full choice pantry. They can come in and select whatever they need. You know, we like to use the language of take what you need. We don't really put limits on anything. And we've really found that that's the best way to serve people, that people truly take what they need. So we have people come in, they have full choice, they get to take, you know, whatever they need home to take care of their families. So, and we also have 7 days a week, 3 meals a day, we have a kitchen that is open to our neighbors. So they can come in and receive, well, breakfast and lunch is for our residents. So in our shelter and our residential programs, breakfast and lunch, and then dinner's open to our community every night of the week.
Every night of the week. So how many people are you feeding like from the community at dinner time?
At dinner time, it's usually about 70 people we have for
Wow.
dinner each night. 2 Saturdays a month we have something called Hope Cafe.
Hmm.
And it is like a restaurant style dining where our guests can come in and they can choose from two different entrees of what they would like to eat, and we have dessert, and we have a live band afterwards. We have a
Wow.
praise band afterwards that people can join in if they'd like, and it's run by volunteers. So we have about a group of 20 volunteers that will come. It's booked up months in advance. We're booked through Easter right now, and groups will come in and do everything from food prep to being waiters and waitresses back in the pit, doing the dishes and serving. So we have lots of kids and families that take advantage of that volunteer opportunity. So it's a really great way to connect, you know, for volunteers to be able to connect directly with the community that they're serving.
So in terms of getting involved as a volunteer, I'm going to pull up that page here, but maybe you can kind of speak to some of the volunteer opportunities that exist for someone like me or Isabella or anybody else in the community that wanted to give back.
Sure. We have regular weekly volunteers opportunities that you can come in, sign up almost every day of the week. I think we have at least 1 or 2 slots open. And then some of the things that you would be working on would be sorting pantry items, you know, making sure everything's in date and everything's organized. Our fresh produce distribution you can jump in on as a volunteer. We also have some opportunities for our mobile food sites. So one of the other things that we do for our guests that are food insecure is we like to take food to different neighborhoods for people that can't get to us. So we also recruit volunteers for those opportunities too. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that you could get involved. And then we also have special events throughout the year that you can connect with. And they become, you know, like around Christmas time, we had 2 or 3 events every day to pack toys and pack food for the families that we were delivering to.
So one of the things says kitchen support. So are people allowed to come and serve at the shelter?
Yeah, so I think you're actually on our San Jose site right now.
Oh,
But if you click on Chester,
yes,
that's one of the things that, like our Hope Cafe, that's where you can come and, you know, serve the food
right
and
there.
serve our guests. That's
Okay.
the only like serving opportunity that we have as far as serving dinner.
Very cool. So they can just, a volunteer can literally go to this link and sign up right here.
Yep, absolutely. And we have a volunteer coordinator, brand new. She just started last week. That would be happy to get right back to you.
That's great. And then someone could volunteer for the mother baby program as well, or the food, clothing.
Yes, all those things. There's lots of different opportunities. Like I said, almost every day of the week we have something that someone could, and they're about 2 hour shifts. They're easy to fit into your day to be able to help out and, you know, really get in and help.
So if I wanted to do a clothing drive with my church or with my work,
Mhm.
does that happen often?
That does happen a lot, actually. You know, everything we do is donations. We don't take any government funding. So it's either gift in kind donations like coats, like, you know, baby diapers, gently used baby equipment. People do canned food drives often, which keeps our pantry going all throughout the year. You know, a lot of people think about a food drive only at Thanksgiving time. It seems to be, you know, everybody wants to do one at Thanksgiving, but really we need those all throughout the year to keep our neighbors in need food on their shelves. So that's always really important too.
This is amazing. So in terms of getting involved, I guess people can also make donations too, right? I'm going to pull up this slide, ways to give.
Yes.
As you said, the way your model works, you're not getting any funding. Where are your funding sources coming from typically?
I mean, we do some grants, right? So we have
Yep.
some foundations. I would say probably about 60% of our funding just comes from individual givers.
Wow.
People just giving monthly. Um, some of our, most committed donors have given, $25 a month for over the course of, many years. So, there's lots of different ways that we make all of it come together. But yeah, it's just mainly from people just giving from their heart and what they can give.
As simple as going to this link. We'll make sure to include this in our post, Isabella. But
Yes, definitely.
That's
monthly
great.
donations. What other thoughts do you have, Isabella?
So say like myself or somebody watching this wants to donate clothing, food, can we just bring it there or how do we go about doing that?
Yeah, so a lot of people just bring it. We have a vestibule, and typically it's during regular business hours, so say like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And then Saturdays, you could also drop off. I think we say like from 12 to 4 on Saturdays.
Okay.
But the reality is that we have a vestibule that people leave things in a lot. And if it's clothing or something, that's fine to leave it there, and then we get it where it needs to be.
Mhm.
But food and stuff, if it's a bigger donation, then it would definitely be great to reach out to me, and then we can coordinate something.
Okay.
That's fantastic. And it looks like there's group opportunities too for volunteering.
Yeah, so if you wanted to get together with a group, either we have a lot of schools that come in, sports clubs that come in, they want to just have a component of service in teaching their kids what they're doing, and we can set up special opportunities for that.
Great. Now you mentioned at the beginning that there's a faith component to City Team. Can you maybe touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to be the we just want to be the hands and feet of Jesus. But it means a lot to us. We're all called to this work. We
Yep.
don't feel like it's a job for us. It's something we're called to do. And we do believe that, meeting someone's needs will lead to a deeper relationship with Christ. And we don't push our faith on anyone. You don't have to have any kind of faith to come and be in any of our programs, but we definitely lead with it for sure, as much as that's what drives us, that's what we're called to do, and that's what propels us in our work.
I love that. Such a beautiful example. Now this looks like there's some of the accomplishments you've had in 2023.
Mhm.
6 million meals provided, 122,000 nights of shelter,
Yes, no,
58,
I believe that's through all of our different locations, but yeah.
amazing. 58,000 volunteer hours and $3.7 million worth of clothing provided.
Yeah, yeah,
These numbers are staggering.
they are staggering, and if you ever had to sort any of those clothes, it feels staggering too.
I've seen reference a couple places to financial literacy. What's that? What are they
Yeah.
doing in terms of financial literacy?
So one of the things that we feel is really important is to partner with different organizations that are already doing this work, right? So for us in Chester, what it means is through our residential programs, we'll have people from different local banks come in and really get down on a level that, our residents will understand. They're not looking at this point in their lives for investment advice.
Yeah,
They're looking for how I can set up a checkbook. How
yeah.
can I, pay my bills on time? How can the most fundamental thing, how can I create a budget that I can stick to? So that's what when we talk about financial literacy, that is really the way that we're implementing it with our residential programs.
That's amazing. And I know you referenced this when we were talking before our call. Everything started, it looks like, out of San Jose,
Mhm.
1957. So
Right.
it's incredible that, I mean, I have not very often seen nonprofits that are on both sides of the country doing such impactful work. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow, I believe the story is someone came from San Jose. They were partnering with a church out here on the East Coast, a church in Media. I'm not even sure which specific church it was. And then this man was walking down the street and he saw them looking at the building that we're in on 7th and Sproul. And he just started talking with them. And the man told the people from San Jose, I've had dreams about this building and I believe it's here to serve men. And I
Hmm.
believe that this community needs to serve, men in the recovery in recovery specifically. So that's the story, how it goes. And that man ended up being our first manager of our shelter and of our residential drug and alcohol recovery program, and was in that position for probably about 20 years.
It's amazing
So
how
it really was just a few men coming together, seeing a need in a.
it's amazing to me how, and I'm a believer as well. I know Isabella is too. And it's amazing how when you put your faith in the Lord, amazing how he take you into some different directions. And as I always say, I always feel like I have a responsibility to
Mhm.
use my life to serve others, to bring God glory ultimately. And
Right.
I believe the way he has led me to do that is through the service of others. But part of our initiative as to why we wanted to launch this program is because there's a lot of information out there that's sometimes misinformation, and a lot of like the news stories are not always positive and uplifting. And there's
Right.
a lot of good people doing great things.
Yeah.
So one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to highlight that and bring attention to it and
Mhm.
create that awareness. It's hunger awareness. It's awareness about food insecurity. It's awareness about poverty and poverty alleviation. But it's also then providing that avenue. So
Yeah.
our hope is that more people will now be aware of City Team and want to get involved and help out, whether it's through donations or financially support or coming on site to help sort cans. What you're doing is beautiful. It's such a beautiful mission, and it's humbling just to kind of hear it all.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And, I do believe, God has a purpose for each one of us. And,
Amen.
when we all come together to do his work, it's so beautiful. And
Amen.
it's always more than we could ever imagine, right? And more than we could ever ask for or hope for. And, like, so we do simple things at City Team, like we just had a company come in and donate a brand new chapel to us. So this is a space that we use like a multi-purpose space, and our guests come in and wait, while they're waiting for food or they're waiting for the mother baby program. And part of that renovation was like a projector and this big screen that is like pretty fancy for us. So we just thought, oh, well, we should play some praise and worship music, like while they're waiting, because sometimes they wait for quite a bit of time. And when I came down, it was the most beautiful thing. I mean, I saw people like singing along, sitting in their chair, little kids dancing, and it was like something so simple as that, in a way that we're connecting people to the Lord. It doesn't have to be some big grand gesture. It's just really through our actions and how we serve people and how we love people. So I think it can be. We sometimes we try to make it more complicated than it is.
Yeah, Isabel, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with everything you said before, Derek, but also I think for somebody that's struggling to be able to believe in God um and talk with others about God and to just have more faith in him, I think it's very helpful. So I think it's good that you include God in what you guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well said, Isabella. Yeah, it's the small things we do. We always think things are measured in terms of the biggest impact, but touch one person's life. I mean, you're doing way more than that. I also wanted to share your social media, so I'm going to pull up your Instagram. Here is your Instagram page, and it looks like it's City Team. So it's no spaces from what I can see here. And here it is on the screen. And Isabella will make sure we include this in the link. So great exposure. You guys are working on
Mhm.
increasing that following. There we go. Got another one. And just incredible work. So everybody should definitely get onto Instagram and follow City Team. Get onto their website, subscribe to their newsletter. Great opportunity to support a great organization helping a lot of people. Do you have any last minute thoughts or words of inspiration for our audience today, Anne-Marie?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank the two of you for having us on today. It means a lot, when we get the chance to talk about what we do. And it means a lot to me personally to just share why I do what I do. So thank you for asking me that question. It's good to remind yourself sometimes, why you're doing what you do. And I just want, to give encouragement to everyone doing this type of work. Sometimes it's really difficult, right? Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you see people in really desperate situations, but just reminding everyone that we can just be that light, that one moment in time when someone can connect with us, and maybe that'll just be enough to get them through the rest of their day. So just thanks to everyone for doing the work that you guys do. And, thank you for your partnership with City Team.
Thank you. Isabella, I think we got the tag for this video. Be the light.
Yeah.
Be the light. Well, on behalf of F4, I'm grateful to have you, Annamarie and Isabella. We are grateful, as always, to host the show together. It's really been a gift from the Lord, and we hope we can impact a lot more lives and, most importantly, bring awareness to hunger and food insecurity. With a country that has so many resources, we shouldn't be having people go hungry. And I always say this too. It's important to meet people where they're at, not to be judgmental, but to come with a servant's heart to love, because we're all one job loss, one medical illness, one family problem away from being in a position where we might need help too. So keep that in mind. As for everybody that's listening, keep that in mind, and just love each other. That's my message. Be the light. I love it. So with that, thank you so much for being on the F4 Hunger Awareness Show, Annamarie. I'm Derek Fiorenza, joined by.
Isabella Ambrosino.
Thank you so much.